So how I started was creating the Unity project first outside of the WWise picker, outside of that badger. Just created a terrain, 2 cubes that were triggered, and then saved it. I also imported the characters, the standard assets characters, and then imported the first person controller. I also moved the scripts for standard assets characters first person. I moved the whole first person folder out of the standard assets folder and just straight into the assets root folder. Created a separate folder called scripts and moved the scripts from inside the first person character folder into there. This is so Wise can access them a bit better, I think. Once I did that, I saved it and then opened up the Wise picker, chose my project, integrated Wise into it. I'd created a separate project, so I created my Unity project, closed that, opened this up, created a project on its own, and then integrated that project into the Unity project. So once it does that, it does the global, and on the first person it will add a listener. Pretty standard stuff. So over to the Wise project. This is where it gets funkier. So under the audio, you don't necessarily have to do this mixer group. You can just do the switch object. Is it switch? It's that one, the one with the funky icon. Yeah, switch container. Switch container called Footsteps. Inside random containers with all your samples in and ting. Once you've done all your randomizationing and stuff like that, you go over to game syncs and you create a new switch group and name it Footsteps, and then create switches inside of that named the surfaces that you want. Then once you've done that, you come back to here and you click on your footsteps, and up here you switch group to footsteps. It's a good idea to have a default material, so I've chosen concrete. Then once you click on footsteps, you'll have all of these down here, and you need to do the thing of dragging them over to here one at a time, and that will be your general footstep setup. What somebody else has, well, I found tutorials on the internet, you literally duplicate this footsteps another 2 times and you name it jump and landing, and create a separate multi-sound for your jump or whatever your jump sound is, and then drop it in here. But on here, now you've got the materials, you've also got the jump, and if you put the jump and just drag it above there, so it's jump concrete, jump wood, jump blah blah blah, then you'll make the jump sound and then the sound of the material, and the same with landing. So you land and then it's the sound of the material. What's quite important here is that once you're clicking on these, You create an event for the footsteps, an event for the jump, and an event for the landing. But the tutorial I saw, he didn't right click here and create an event for it. He actually went to events and right click, create jump, create landing, and then on these events, so on the footsteps, you click and drag it onto here for the event, and then on jump you have your footsteps jump, go back over to audio and then drag and drop your footsteps jump, and that plays, and then you add a mute event after it, so it triggers the jump and then it will mute the footstep sound. Otherwise, when you're moving in the air, the footsteps sounds will carry on. And the same for the landing. If you go over to events and then landing, you drag and drop from the audio your footsteps landing in, and then you unmute footsteps, so you drag and drop your footsteps in and unmute it, so when you're landing it will, once you land, it will carry on playing the jobbies. So I think that's pretty much it for that. Yeah. And then create a sound bank. Drag and drop them in there. Drag and drop those three events into there. What I've done is I've also, from last year, clicked on the top work unit, user settings, override, create header, generate header file, and include GUID. I've also clicked it on that as well. I don't know if that makes a difference. I've left this the same because it's all set up already. I think that's pretty much it. Generate, close. Okay, and then when you come back to your Unity project, is it going to wig out? No. Okay, so on your first person controller, just straight up, you add the bank, on start, load on start, unload on destroy, and it's the footsteps bank. It's cool, straightforward. And then, have I done anything on that? No. Okay. And then the cubes, I've just got a switch component. Always have to fucking drag and drop from here rather than adding AK switch component like that, because it doesn't fucking like it. It took me fucking ages to figure that out. So yeah, make sure that, you know, on your cube it's called metal, so I drag and drop my switch state metal, AK trigger enter, and you need to make sure this other object is ticked, and then obviously set the switch name, and then I've done trigger exit as well, and so I've chosen my default sort of material to be concrete, so it will start as concrete, and then once you hit this it will sound like metal, and then once you come off it will go back to concrete. Now for the really, really fun part, which was this fucking first person script, blood clot. So edit that bad boy. I had to patch it together from a few tutorials. You have to go through and take out all of the audio source stuff. So the first one is this required component type audio, just fucking comment it out. and that means then that you can delete the audio source off this game object, because it fucks up otherwise. And then I've commented out this private audio source, audio source here, and this one here, audio source get component audio source. Then so here is grounded. So when you press jump, and if you're on the ground, play the landing sound, which is down here, play landing sound. And I commented out the audio source clip and just completely replaced the middle one with that, and then obviously that's the name of the event in Wise. And then slightly further down, same deal again. So this is the jump sound now, so jump sound completely replaced that line of code with that. And then when you come down to here, you have to comment out the audio source clip jump sound, and you replace this play footstep audio with another AK. Don't worry about that, that's just me fucking around. And then you have to comment out all these as well. So I think int is normally in there, source audio, that's in there, and the footsteps in there. Basically everything that has this audio source, because that's calling from the Unity audio source stuff. You need to comment it out. And I think that's it. Yeah. Once you've done that, save, build, and hopefully there won't be any errors. And then it will take a little while when you click off. It'll give you the spinning wheel of death.